Hi everyone, welcome back to Eutropico Designs. In today's video, I'll be showing you my Resin Chessboard project. I'll be demolding the board to reveal its elegant transparent look with scattered gold foil. I'll show you step-by-step process and share some tips along the way. If you like what you see and want to try it yourself, I hope that you find value in this video. And if you love the finished product but don't want to make it yourself, you can always buy my creations on my website or at my eBay shop. The links are in the description below. So here you can see a list of materials. We have the respirator and gloves, the acrylic white paint, mica powders, I'm using white and gold, the spatulas, the gold foil, the tiny spoon, anti-slip dots, and 1/4 container. The resin I'm using is Dr. Resin, which I got from Amazon. It comes in 2 parts, A and B, with 1:1 mixing ratio. The instructions on the side recommend mixing for 3 minutes, although I prefer to mix for 5 minutes to ensure it's well combined. It takes about 24 hours to be 90% cured, and to fully cure, it takes up to 72 hours. Before we continue, I ask you that if you enjoy what you see in this video, to please like, share, and subscribe to help me grow my channel. First, I'm using white acrylic paint to make the resin opaque. I don't want it to be clear. I want a bright, solid white. I'm also adding mica powder, white color, about half of this little spoon to experiment with the finish. This is my first time trying this technique, so I'm mixing it thoroughly to ensure it's well blended before moving on. I'm still not happy with the shade of white, so I'm adding a bit more white acrylic paint. And another spoonful of mica powder. I found out that it's better to mix this powder on the surface of the resin, as it can be tricky to blend it if you sink it. I got this mold off from Hobby Lobby. Once I'm happy with the color, I start pouring the resin into the shallow mold. Using a spoon helps me control the amount I pour into each square. I'll spread it out later with a spatula to cover the entire square. These molds have thin lines that help the resin stay in place. I decided to switch with the spoon because it's more sturdy and it helps me speed up the process. I also have a bookmark mold on the right side of the screen with leftover resin, and I'm using this to fill any squares that need more. Resin is self-leveling, so after a few minutes, I can see which squares need extra resin, and then I can adjust accordingly. It's important to ensure there are no big areas of resin connecting where they shouldn't be, as this can be very hard to clean up later and might ruin the pattern. Next, I'm using the heat gun to remove any air bubbles. So here I am the next day using Scotch tape to pick up the dried excess drops of resin. I want to clean everything nicely. As you can see, the tape helps pick up all those little dots of excess resin. I want to give a special thank you to those of you who have liked, shared, and subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate you for helping me grow. Here is a close-up of the squares. It is important that there is no excess resin connecting between them, as it will be very hard to clean up later. For this next step, I'm using this 1-quart container. It has measurements that are going to help me determine or measure the amount of resin that I'm going to need. This chess mold is about 1/4 inch deep and will need a significant amount of resin. I mixed a total of 8 ounces, 4 from part A and 4 for part B. I'll be adding a very small amount of this gold mica powder to give it a nice look. I'm also going to be adding some of this gold foil. I think the combination is going to look very nice. I added half of this tiny little spoon of the mica powder to the resin, and I'm mixing to see what I get. I also wanted to let y'all know that after I mix my resin for the first time, I like to let it rest for about 2 to 3 minutes so that the big bubbles come up. I spray a little bit of that alcohol to pop those bubbles up. Now I'm adding the gold foil. To be honest with you, this is tricky to handle because it's very sticky, but I managed to add about 4 to 5 half-inch pieces. After mixing the mica powder and the gold foil into the resin, I can see a very nice scattered pieces of gold foil with a little bit of that gold mica powder floating around, giving it that transparent look that I was looking for. Okay, time to pour, and this is looking very nice. Please add in the comments what you think so far, what suggestions, what comments, do you like it, what can I do better? Let me know. So I'm spreading the resin with the silicone spatula, making sure it goes into the corners and breaking up any large pieces of that gold foil. I don't know, I think this is looking pretty nice and elegant. I'm adding a bit more resin slowly to avoid overflowing. I need better lighting for my videos so that you guys can see the products better. Anyway, I'm spreading the gold foil evenly to avoid clumping. Now I'm using a heat gun to remove any air bubbles. Guys, I do this quite a few times. Don't be shy with it. You don't want to burn your mold, but you do want to hit it hard with enough heat so that those bubbles pop. I'm also using this tiny silicone spatula to go around the edges and bring any lingering bubbles to the surface. It's disappointing to find bubbles when you demold your product after you have gone through so much trouble and so much effort to make it look good. If you decide to use a toothpick to do this part, be very, very careful that you don't damage your mold. Okay, so here I am again, giving it a little bit more heat, making sure those bubbles are popped. Don't stay in a specific area too long because it will definitely mess up your mold, but go around and making sure that it's hot and that is covering all areas. Okay guys, so here is the next day, demolding day, and I can tell you that this is rock solid. I'm telling you, I love this resin. It's very high quality. So now I'm demolding the piece and it is looking fantastic. This is very nice. And this is exactly the finished look that I was aiming for. I don't see any annoying bubbles, which is great. However, I do wish the white color was a bit darker, but it looks nice. I bought these adhesive dots from Hobby Lobby. They're gonna prevent slippage and they're gonna make it easier to pick up the board. So I'll be placing them on the bottom of the board. Since the dots are transparent, they don't detract from the overall look of the board. I have placed the board on a darker surface as the white silicone cover didn't show off the piece as well. Now you can really see how beautiful this piece is. For the chess pieces, I'm mixing 60 milliliters of part A and 60 of part B of the resin using this silicone measuring cup because it has precise measurements. Unlike the larger container I use for the board, this one allows for more accuracy. I'm making one of the chess pieces with gold tops to match the board, and the bottom half will be white. For the white, I'm using this mother of pearl from Hobby Lobby and adding some white alcohol ink to make the color more opaque. For the gold tops, I'm mixing a similar blend as I did for the board, aiming for that translucent gold look, and I'm gonna be filling up half or the tops of these chess molds. I add a tiny amount of gold mica powder. So here I am trying to catch some of this flying gold foil. But later on I discovered that if you dip the tip of the spatula or the toothpick on the resin and then try and catch them, it's much easier because they're full of static electricity and they just like are a nightmare to catch. I'm filling the tops with the mixture, and I did this for each one of the pieces. Guys, it is crucial to squeeze these molds after pouring the resin to release any air bubbles. Like press them, make sure that resin is getting to every nook and cranny of those molds. Also, spray them with that 90% alcohol and also use the heat gun on them. After some trial and error, I was able to achieve the white that I was looking for. I ended up adding 2 spoons of white mica powder, those spoonfuls of these little tiny spoons, right? 6 drops of white alcohol, 2 dollops of acrylic white paint, and a spoon of the mother pearl. I poured the mixture into all of the chess pieces and the checkers mold, and then hit it with some alcohol and the heat gun. So the next day I demolded the pieces, and I can tell you that they required a bit of effort to remove, but you have to pull a lot, as you can see in the video. So I wonder how much these mold pieces are going to last. However, after I was able to pop them out, they look great. These look very cute. I hope you can see the details. Although I squeezed them, some of them do have bubbles, but this is an easy fix with UV resin. So here we have a close-up look of the knight. This one came out perfect. The tower also came out great. The bubbles are minimum, like I said, a little bit of UV resin, and they'll look perfect. And a close-up of the checkers. And of course I did the other set, and for this other set I decided to go full gold color, and these came out very, very good. I hope you can see the details. So guys, if you like what you saw in the video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help me grow this channel. Thank you, and see you in the next video.